Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Blessing Richardson, and welcome to the More Than Code podcast, where I talk to founders, business owners, and consultants, all excited to chat up no code, low code, and code. I'm an engineer and creative obsessed with software automation because it's more than code. Technology has always been an expression of our collective ingenuity and a response to necessity. Software is no different. It's for people and by people, and I hope you know that when I say people, I mean you. Let's dive in. This episode is a clip from my conversation with Chynna Morgan, the founder of Vidlo. I met Chynna a couple weeks before Vidlo's launch, and we've kept in touch ever since. And so in this call, we really begin to idea on how Vidlo's onboarding process and features around creating campaigns can begin to integrate AI to make that process easier and more concise for brands, and then even assist with users when prompting them to actually create their own content.
Well, Blessing, thank you so much for having me on today. I'm super excited to dive into what other features I can implement into my platform and how I can automate it even more. So thank you for having me.
Of course. So we have a couple things that we're going to tackle, but first, let's talk about Vidlo. What is Vidlo?
So Vidlo is a platform for brands, small brands, agencies, music artists to develop and create user-generated video campaigns within minutes, right? So the whole goal of Vidlo is we want to empower your customers to create content around your brand so they can share it on social, kind of do the work for you, but you're able to repurpose that content for your own marketing. I think people are now realizing how powerful user-generated content is because it's authentic, it's real, right? And you're allowing your real brand advocates, your real customers to kind of create content for you that's going to convert into more sales and more revenue.
So y'all launched not too long ago. Wasn't this a couple weeks? It's been more than a month though.
It's been 2 months. We launched 2 months ago. Yeah.
How is the user experience so far? What's the feedback you're getting?
So the feedback we're getting so far is that it's super easy. Like it's super easy. They can do it in their sleep. It's really, really easy. But we have got some features that some of our users would like to see in the future because we just launched. It's like the perfect time to like really get close to our customers to see exactly what they're looking for in the platform, what we can implement before we get too big. So that is why I came to you like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because we're seeing some features that I know some of our clients want.
So I'm seeing like 3 buckets of features, and we'll probably pick, if we have time, we'll probably go through all 3 of them. But just to call them out for everybody who's listening, we have analytics. So adding analytics to your platform, what does that look like to do that? We have Chat GPT integration. How can Chat GPT enrich the customer or your user experience, particularly around use of creating a campaign? How can we make it easy for the end user to create their campaign using Chat GPT? And then the third bucket of concerns here is how do we animate, I believe it's like video production itself. So the idea of stitching videos together or any kind of bulk editing tools, it sounds like, to make it easier for the brand who set out the campaign.
Yes. So like when they get all the videos coming into the dashboard, how can we make it easier for them so we can create an animation for them already? They don't have to do it themselves and iMovie or hire someone to do the animation for them.
So let's start with Chat GPT. I know that's a big thing. Everybody's by now, if you've been on Google, if you've been on tech Twitter, anything, if anywhere related to tech, you have heard about Chat GPT and automation. And so how do you envision Chat GPT enriching the user experience for Vidlo?
One way I want to use it is how can Chat GPT help them create their campaign, right? So when they go to the platform, they're able to upload their logo, they can choose a background color, and they're also able to input a prompt, right? So it's kind of how can we ask Chat GPT, like, what type of campaign should I create? And then they can give our users different options of like, oh, this is what the background color should be for your landing page. Oh, this is what your users should be able to do in their videos. So kind of like giving them prompts so they don't have to think for themselves. And Chat GPT can just give them all the answers, even when it comes down to like music. Oh, what should be the sound of my campaign? You can give them like different points of how you want your audience to feel, and they can like suggest the music that they should upload within the platform. So different things like that. Does it make sense?
It does. So it makes me think, if I'm a user on Vidlo, and by user in this context, I'm the brand who's creating the campaign.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm somebody from within a company or a brand. I'm going onto Vidlo and I'm creating a video marketing campaign, and I plan to give this link to my audience.
Mhm.
Okay. Chat GPT and its ability to understand context and objectives could be really cool because I believe as a part of your campaign flow, you ask questions about the type of campaign anyway, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And so talk us through that flow. What would I have to check off and what options would I fill in if I were creating a campaign?
So I'll take you to the whole user journey, right? You go to the campaign. Log into your account. You're gonna create a campaign name. A campaign name is how you want to identify your campaign. I can call it blessings testing or whatever, right? Call it blessings. So I named the campaign, and then the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna design your landing page. Now your landing page is the first screen your audience will see of your brand, number one, and what they should do in their video. So you're gonna upload your logo, right? You're going to choose a background color for the landing page, or you can upload your own branding animation or image, right? Then you're going to input your prompt. So, like, what do you want them to do in their videos? Do you want them to dance like they never danced before? Show me how you were when you drank the boba. Whatever action you need, you let them know that. And then you just choose a message color. So, how do you want the font color to look like on your page? Those are the first 4 steps on how to get started.
So me as a brand, as somebody who's a part of the brand itself commissioning this campaign, I'm going to give like my logo, my colors, but the main creative part here is the prompt.
That's where I really want Chat GPT to help our customers, our clients.
And in this context, I'm creating a prompt. So when that user gets this link and they upload a video, I'm prompting the interaction, right? And telling them what I want them to do.
Yes.
Because now, since we have Chat GPT prompts, it's like differentiating what prompts we're talking about.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Okay. So the prompt really is the call to action for the user.
Call to action. Okay. It's the most important part because for brands, you have to be very clear of how you want your audience videos to look like. I think a lot of times they don't give their audience directions. So like, I'm recording video, but I don't know what to do, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be clear of like what you want them to do.
And do I put in a description of my campaign?
No. So when you're creating the campaign, you get to the prompt section, you're just literally letting them know what they should do in their videos.
The reason why I ask is because if Chat GPT has more context for like why, like what the campaign is, right? I think that would be a good way to get it to give better prompts. So if I tell Chat GPT that I'm a tech brand, right? Workflows at work. I'm doing a workflows at work mixer, and I'm going to have everybody wearing maybe a branded T-shirt or some paraphernalia. And my suggested prompt might come out from ChatGPT as, ask them to like take a photo with the shirt. If it's a book launch, it could be ask them to hold up the book, right? And so if you give ChatGPT context, it should be able to generate better prompts instead of kind of going through a generic list of things you can ask people to do. And I think for your platform, you understanding what types of campaigns and why people are using Vidlo, this is a great place to collect it anyways. And so it could mean that one, for sure, you'd be lengthening this campaign building process, but it doesn't have to be painful. So for instance, if from your for your own clients who are using Vidlo, if one of the common things they're doing are launch activations for marketing, right? They or another event could be employee experiences. They're doing employee hype events, morale boosting events, and all these other things. You can kind of see that prompting process to say, hey, what type of campaign are you doing? Pick one of these, 6 little boxes here, and if it's something else, type it in, right? Because what you want your user to do, the brand person to do, is to kind of fill in the blanks to create the prompt that gets sent to ChatGPT. That's what it is, right? And so if the person, when they've created their profile, says, this is the name of my company, this is my company website, well, you could do a thing where the first thing it does is take that website and it goes to the website and pulls copy off the website to learn about the person's
company.
Exactly. So if your automation process does that and goes, you know what, I'm going to go learn about you. And if you want to give your user like control over that, instead of automatically pulling the website content and just using it for the AI, you can take someone's website, pull the copy from their website, and then add it to their profile. So you automatically fill the profile for them. And then before you ever run a campaign, you take the context of this is this person's company name, this is what the company is about. By the way, this is the purpose of this event, right? So go and generate some prompts.
Okay, I love that. Number one. So let me get the visual of how that would flow within the platform, right? So do you think when we have a user first sign up, right, we should ask them those questions? Hey, what's your company's name? What's your company's website? And then also, what is the purpose of this campaign?
Yes.
So then once we get that, right, when they get to the prompt section, they could. So when they get to the prompt section, how should that look like then?
So I'd say, and this depends too on your KPIs. If you're at a point where you're really trying to get people onboarded, then maybe that's not where we want to kind of overload you with questions. Maybe when you're onboarding, what we ask you is just your website, your business website, right? And your business name. I think that's fair to ask on onboarding. And then when I go create a campaign, the first thing you ask me is like, hey, tell me a bit more about your business. And that's where you show me the data you're able to find on my business. So the very first campaign somebody creates, if we don't know what your business is about, that's where we're going to show you a field that says, hey, can you correct what we know about your business? Just, make sure this is accurate. And then for every campaign they create, we say, what type of campaign is this? And they check the type of campaign. And so those 2 bits should be enough to kind of help Chat GPT. And then maybe like the vibe of the campaign. Is it a formal event? Is it playful and casual? Getting all those kind of mood adjectives, right, to Chat GPT also helps because that changes the output that it gives you.
So question for you. One question I have is because the videos that they're creating is action based, right? It's not talking based. It's all about like, hey, show us how much fun you're having at the festival, whatever. Are we able to customize that type of action based responses from Chat GPT?
You should be able to. With Chat GPT, right? It's not just about creating copy that's like written, for instance. So social media captions and stuff like that. It can understand that you're trying to create a script for something. And so I've used it myself to like come up with an outline of a video script, right? And I'll tell it like, we'll describe maybe some things I should be mindful of in this scene, like physically with my presentation, right? So ChatGPT has scraped essentially enough data from the world to figure out, how to advise you on these things. And so you should be able to get prompts from ChatGPT that has ideas. And I know that because of when I do my photo shoots and I go to ChatGPT and say, hey, give me some ideas, right? I'm having ChatGPT give me advice on ways to pose clients. That's a physical action, right? And I have to look at that information myself and say, does this really work? Does this really not work? And so I think what that translates to for your platform is that when ChatGPT comes out with recommendations for your users, you want to also pull data from what they ended up going with. Because eventually you're going to want to run and kind of like a report and analytics and feed it back into your own AI of the difference of what you suggested and what they did. And that's how you take Vidlo from platform right now where everything's very declarative. I'm telling it what to do versus Vidlo begins to learn your brand. And so when the next time you come back and you say, hey, we're doing an energetic event, it's really, a lot of energy, all this kind of stuff. And we really want users to say this phrase, right? There's a particular catchphrase we want users to say. ChatGPT will begin to learn how you tweak your prompts and stuff like that. And so it'll get better at communicating in that brand's voice and prompt, right? And so that's per client, per account. You should be able to do that with ChatGPT, with open API. And so this stage of it right now is just initially creating the AI interaction, right? And if we can get the user to build a profile, we can take all those bits to construct a prompt for OpenAI and say, I am this person. This is what my business does. I am running a video campaign where I'm going to ask users to do X, Y, and Z. This is the mood of this campaign. Can you give me suggestions on how users should pose or behave in the video? And
so that's what you feedback. One question I have for you is when a client first signs up for our platform, right? We get all that information already. We get their name, their website, the brand, right? We can just take that from the AI, right? And then just kind of make reports with that, and then use the Chat GPT to like get that information to complete their campaign, right? So we have. Okay.
That's exactly, yes. If you already have all that intake information, then yes, it's just crafting the prompt, giving it to Chat GPT, and then taking back those suggestions and showing it to the user. And so that should be good enough to assist on that process of creating a campaign.
Okay. And do you think that is the only? Do you think that's the only?
Chynna and I went on to talk more about OpenAI and automated video editing with APIs like Creative and Cloud Area. You know, we talked for a good while, and I gotta say, I really enjoy talking to first-time founders, new tech founders, and just going through the tech ideation conversation. So much is possible. And so if you got excited by this conversation and you want to know what OpenAI can do for you, I encourage you to check out ChatGPT at chat.openai.com. You'll be surprised by what you can do. And of course, don't forget to check out vidlo.video, and that is vidlo.video. Vidlo is a turnkey app for branded video marketing campaigns. So if you host live events and you're looking for ways to engage your event attendees and get them talking about your brand, Vidlo could be exactly what you're looking for. If you're listening to this, that means that you made it to the end of the episode. Thank you for listening. If you're listening on Spotify, you can click on the episode, and right where you see that Q&A box, you can leave a question. Send me all of your integrations and automations questions. You can always find me at blessingrichardsson.com. See you in the next episode.